Hello and welcome back to Internalize the podcast version. Again, a place where intros are fluid and the communist utopia has not been achieved yet. I don't know where that came from. I think I was just thinking a little bit about communism and capitalism this morning. But hello and welcome back. Uh, thank you so much for listening. And if you want to listen to these episodes a day earlier, make sure to subscribe on your podcast app of choice, whether that's YouTube podcasts, actually not YouTube podcasts, anything but YouTube podcasts, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Stitcher, but that doesn't exist anymore. Uh, I don't know. I don't know what podcast apps people use. I personally use Pocket Casts. I think it's really good. It has a paid plan, but I've never felt the need to even like think about buying the paid plan. But yeah, Pocket Casts is great if you want a podcast app to listen to this on. It actually even comes to Spotify a day earlier. So make sure to subscribe on your podcast app of choice and listen there for the fresh off the can experience, or rather fresh off the iron press. I don't know. I don't know what the idiom is. Uh Hello and welcome back. If you're listening on YouTube, hello. I want to ask you something. How do you listen to this? Do you listen to this in the background while doing something else? Do you listen to it while working out? Do you listen to it while biking? I listen to a ton of podcasts while commuting, while cycling, doing all kinds of stuff. So let me know if you're on YouTube. How do you listen to your podcasts? How do you listen to this podcast specifically? And if you're listening to this in the background and you're on a mobile phone, let me know if you have YouTube Premium. Is the podcast on your home screen? Is it open the whole time? Do you just shut off your screen, put it in your pocket, and listen on headphones? I'm really curious. I don't think I have the traffic to get an answer, but yeah, I don't know. This is my experiment, I suppose. So yeah, today I want to talk a little bit about subtle workflow shifts I've tried to make in my life that have so far changed them immensely. Mainly two workflow shifts I've made that have changed my life immensely, and one workflow shift I intend on, or not workflow. I think that sounds a little bit pretentious. I think one life shift I want to make in the near future that will I definitely improve my life as well. Uh, so first of all, let's talk about like where did this come up, right? Uh, I mean, I've been kind of into this productivity thing for the last maybe 4 years. I think since the eighth grade, I've been into the productivity thing. So it's definitely been, kind of I've somewhat conditioned myself into wanting to do more in less time, try to compress as much as I can into a certain amount of time. And it did work at some level, in some way, somehow, but I don't think it was very good for me. I think after my midterms, when I realized it made me extremely busy and stressed, and after I finished my REA applications, I was like, this is really exhausting. I don't think I can keep up like this for the rest of my life. Not even for the rest of my life. I don't think I can keep up like this till my boats finish. I think I'm just going to completely burn out and destroy myself from the inside, and I don't really want to do that. So I realized I want to start working in a way that's much better for me, and I want to make life a little more fun and a little less exhausting. When I sort of realized that life was going not in the direction I wanted it to go. uh, I do want to work on things still. I want to make a ton of stuff. I'm working on an album right now. If I don't know if I've spoken about this before, but I'm working on an album. I'm right now in the process of writing one of the songs. Most of them are actually, I mean, there are some general musical ideas, some conceptual ideas that are floating in the air for me, but I need to just condense it all down, make it into a song, record it, produce it, pump it out. It's a process for sure, but I'm taking my time with it. because yeah, I don't know, I don't feel like I want to try to do something super consistently just for the sake of, for the sake of doing it anymore. I want to try and make the best things I can. But yeah, anyway, that was a tangent and a half. um yeah, I'm working on an album as well. Things are definitely looking up in terms of the creative output. I don't want to stop working on stuff basically, but I've been trying to make shifts to try and reduce the chance of burnout. I still have a ton of work to start. Like, I still have a ton of work. I have to study a ton. I have so much to work on in terms of my college applications. And this is still, quite a big drainer of my time. Not that it's a bad thing. I really enjoy working on the stuff, but it's nonetheless a drainer of my time. And I want to have a sustainable, healthy lifestyle where I have time to chill, I have time to read, I have time to hang out with my family and my friends. I have time to, get on my cycle and bike to God knows where, right? And yeah, I really want to do that. I think this sort of has been amplified a lot by the fact that I'm doing a course called The Science of Well-Being on Coursera by Yale. And I highly, highly recommend it, especially for students. I'm actually doing the course titled The Science of Well-Being for Teens. It's really good. I really, really like it. So far, it's already made me, enthusiastic about having a better life for myself. And I've been trying to make shifts in the right direction to make myself a lot happier. But one of the things they talk about in that is having something called, I think, time affluence is the term. So where you feel like you have enough time to, just turn off, and, do nothing for a day, or go with your family somewhere, or just hang out with friends for a day. And I want to get to that stage. And yeah, it doesn't, I want to do the best I can to get there. And I'm trying to make shifts to reach that stage as well. And yeah, I suppose things are going up right now. I feel like things are going in the right direction. Uh, so the first thing I did, which may be a little bit of a surprise, the fact that it helped at all, was changing my Notion system. Uh, it feels like this should just increase the amount of work I do, but it's actually reduced it, but not in a bad way at all. In the past, basically my Notion system would consist of like a ton of individual pages on my sidebar. I don't think I have any pictures to show about it. I mean, show that to you. But if you want to see my current homepage, make sure to check out the blog at substack.com/at Mukund Shyam, I believe is the new link. I think the old link works as well. It's in the show notes, I believe. But yeah, while this, it would get the job done at some level, but it wasn't exactly the most efficient thing in the world. It was definitely quite stressful seeing so many things on the side, not knowing, what to do. Do I have to, deal with it? Do I just keep it there? Do I want to think about it right now? Do I just delete it? I don't know. It was difficult. It was really stressful, and half the time because of that, I would just not use Notion. I would end up, putting it in some place else that wasn't, the best place to keep it, and it would just, get lost to the ether again. And yeah, that was one. And the other one is like I didn't feel like I was taking advantage of Notion's capabilities of filtering and sorting. I was just, trying to use it as a sort of supercharged version of like Evernote or something. It was all just in like unstructured trees. It didn't make sense at all, but I wanted to improve that, make it a lot more streamlined. So all of my pages have now been condensed into three main, I suppose, pages, but they're more like databases. A project manager that contains all of the information that of the projects I'm working on, whether that's in like coding or the blog stuff or the YouTube or the music. It's all there. The project manager also contains a tasks thing, which is I'm going to talk a little bit of that about that later. A tasks database, I mean. My notebook is the second page or database which contains everything I've noted down, and they've all been structured into neat little with neat little tags, like stuff for creativity, stuff for life, some just general interesting stuff I found, my journal, the scans of my my journals in the past. It's all, yeah, and it's nice. And the third one is studying. Studying has all my revision material, of course, things from notes from 11th onwards, I believe. I'm not sure if it has any 10th stuff, but it might. I'm not sure. I took some slightly different approaches to design each of these pages, of course, but they all have a wide variety of information in them. And the way I sort of figure out how to get to my information, the sort of the piece of information I require at that particular moment is by using filters and sorts. And I've used them, I think, very heavily for the first time as a Notion user, which is definitely kind of odd. I think most other Notion users would have been aware of this. But anyway, better late than never, right? Uh, I think so far it's a lot better. There's a lot of stuff still. I think it's still very information dense, but it's way less overwhelming. I can just focus on the things I want to focus on, and it's all just chill. It's working out quite well right now. And I also have like a home page, which is where Notion generally sits in whenever I open it up. It basically just has links to these three main pages, and it has like a mirrored view of the tasks database. Again, most of that, more on that a little later. And yeah, it just has some general quality of life slash aesthetic stuff, like some like my links, I suppose, and ongoing projects. I guess it's all quite neat. I think, even if I do say so myself. The second change I've made is changing how I work during time blocks. Like previously, I think I was very hell bent about how much time I would put into a project. Like, if I put less than an hour on a certain thing, I would feel like I was not doing enough. I was getting distracted, that kind of thing. But it was just very stressful for me. So I decided to switch it up and change it into more of a output slash goals based thing. So whenever I would hit a goal, I would be done for the day, and I would be chilling. Of course, this doesn't necessarily work well for everybody, but I realized it works much better for me because time goals just made me super super exhausted and super stressed out. So far, this has been really helpful. Even though my calendar is filled to the brim, I tend to, have quite a lot of, or at least quite a lot of bits of time in between time blocks. Like if I have a time block for music and a time block for YouTube, I have maybe 8 minutes or so in between those two a time blocks, or like in that whole 1 hour block, I have, I suppose, 8 to 10 minutes of just chill time. And yeah, that's nice just to have time to recuperate and turn off and try to catch my breath again. In the future though, I think maybe in a couple of days or so, I might try to start introducing this slowly into my life. Is I want to start working on like tiny tasks, like things I small things I want to do, like I don't know, message someone, search up something, buy something, that sort of thing. Buy something is maybe a larger thing to do, but still, I want to do these tiny tasks in these pieces of time confetti, as some psychologists call it. uh, Initially, these output based goals, I would note them down using post it notes. But more recently, I've switched to like a daily tasks database on inside the project manager. And each task is sort of linked to a project, which is really nice. I think it's a really nice feature of Notion. So, yeah, I wanted to save paper, so I decided to do that. Unfortunately, it's just significantly less satisfying, the digital version, compared to the physical version. But hey, what can you do? I guess you have to give something up for environmentalism. Uh, but yeah, I found this. I found out that having these output-based goals has helped me actually achieve a lot more in the same amount of time, and it has helped me study in a lot more of a focused manner instead of just just loafing around, spending 2 hours doing goodness knows what, and then realizing I've wasted out a lot of my time. I suppose it's just Parkinson's law in motion. For anyone who's unaware, Parkinson's law sort of states that work expands to fill time. So if we have more time, even if you have the same amount of work, it'll expand to fill that time. Uh, so yeah, the last thing that I want to try to introduce into my life but I haven't done so yet, is sleeping with my phone in another room. I'd like to think my relationship with my phone has improved substantially compared to how it was in the pandemic. I think I use it a lot less and I use it a lot more intentionally. Of course, there's still room for improvement, and I guess that's going to always be the case. But I'm quite happy with the direction I'm going in terms of my phone use. But the main ways I want to start improving my relationship with my phone again is by starting to sleep with my phone in another room. It's not because I tend to use my phone quite a lot in bed, at least, like not for, I don't like scroll social media in bed or anything. Generally, just use it for meditation and stuff. But I don't use it that much in bed, mainly because I use it as soon as I wake up quite often. And something I want to do is just give myself maybe 5 to 10 minutes when I wake up to just relax, recuperate, sort of, I guess, come into the world before opening up my phone and, checking my email and doing Wordle and stuff. It's, yeah, I don't know. I think it would just be extremely helpful to relax and wake up relaxed in the morning. And I think the reason I've not been able to do this is my alarm clock has so far been not very reliable. I think it rings some of the time, other times it just doesn't ring. And other alarm clocks are just, not loud enough, straight out. But yeah, I think that's something I really want to work on soon. But I think that's all for this week. Uh, I think it was a longer episode, my than usual at least. But thank you so much for listening. If you have something that has helped you immensely in terms of having a much more, I guess, sustainable, nice life, please make sure to drop that in the comments. I really want to hear from you. I want to try implementing that into my life as well. Additionally, if you're interested in using Notion, make sure to check out Thomas Frank Explains on YouTube. He has a playlist called Notion Fundamentals, which really helps teach the ideas of Notion to like a basic beginner, which is really awesome. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. That's all for this week, and I will catch you next time. See you.